Educator, First Lady, and a two-timer to boot, Jill Biden has done a whole lot of good in her life, but that doesn't mean she hasn't stoked a scandal or two. Jill and Joe Biden say they met on a blind date set up by one of Joe Biden's brothers. Joe told Meet Cute's NYC that in 1975, he received a call from Frank Biden telling him, "I go to school with this woman. You'll love her. She is beautiful, and she doesn't like politics." The then 33-year-old senator was instantly smitten with the 24-year-old college student, and the rest is history. It's a sweet story, sure, but Jill's ex-husband, Bill Stevenson, claims it isn't true. Speaking with Inside Edition, Stevenson said that Jill and Joe Biden met through him in 1972, 3 years earlier than they claimed. Jill and Stevenson had married in 1970. 2 years later, Stevenson was fundraising for Joe Biden for his first run at the Senate.
In '72, Jill, Joe, Nelia, and I were in his kitchen. How do you forget that?
Stevenson maintains that Jill and Joe had engaged in an affair, but didn't rouse his suspicions until 1974. He told Mail Online that he knew something was off when he had the opportunity to meet Bruce Springsteen and asked his wife to come along. Stevenson recalled,
He said, Joe asked me to keep an eye on the boys. And I just thought to the back of my mind,
The final straw came when he learned that Biden had been spotted driving Jill's car. He continued,
I said, you gotta go. You gotta go get your own place.
When Joe Biden first decided to join the 2020 presidential race, he was plagued by accusations of inappropriate conduct. In 2019, a slew of women had raised claims of inappropriate touching and uncomfortable comments at various political events. For example, congressional aide Amy Lapos told the Hartford Courant that Joe once rubbed his nose against hers at a 2009 fundraiser. Similarly, former White House intern Dale Conert-Yunt alleged that he put his forehead against hers in a bizarre exchange. One of the most scathing reports, though, came from Nevada Lieutenant Governor nominee Lucy Flores. Writing for The Cut, she claimed that Biden smelled her hair, then kissed her on the back of the head. As the reports mounted, Joe Biden tweeted a kind of apology. He wrote, "Social norms are changing. I will be more mindful about respecting personal space in the future." Jill Biden also wrote off the accusations as Joe simply being Joe. She told NPR, "They were a very affectionate family, so that took me a little while to get used to that, but then I saw how Joe connected with people, and now these are different times. Joe realizes these are different times." In that same interview, Jill brushed aside Joe Biden's handling of the 1991 Supreme Court confirmation hearings for Clarence Thomas, during which a law professor named Anita Hill accused Thomas of sexual harassment. Jill said, "He apologized for the way the hearings were run. It's time to move on." Back in 2022, Jill Biden was invited to speak at a conference celebrating the work of Raul Zaguirre, the former CEO of Latino civil rights organization Unidos US. In her speech, she praised the Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, saying, "Raul helped build this organization with the understanding that the diversity of this community, as distinct as the bodegas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, is your strength." The blowback was swift. The National Association of Hispanic Journalists clapped back with a lengthy statement posted to X, formerly Twitter. They wrote, "We are not tacos. Do not reduce us to stereotypes." However, Janet Murguia, the new Unidos US CEO, defended Jill, tweeting, "She has been a great educator in and a great amiga to our community for years." Even so, Jill's spokesman, Michael LaRosa, tried to control the heat by tweeting an apology. He wrote, "The First Lady apologized that her words conveyed anything but pure admiration and love for the Latino community." Following Joe Biden's disastrous debate against Donald Trump in June 2024, calls for him to end his re-election campaign quickly began to mount.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
For nearly a month, however, he refused to do so, and many believed that Jill Biden was the reason for this. Indeed, she was adamant that her husband should stay in the race, even telling donors at one event, "Joe isn't just the right person for the job, he's the only person for the job." Unfortunately, many people no longer agreed, and as Joe Biden's campaign continued, both Democrats and Republicans put the blame at Jill's door. For example, a group of Democratic women from Philadelphia penned an opinion piece for the Washington Post titled, "Dear Jill Biden, please tell your husband it's time to step aside." Caroline Levitt, Donald Trump's campaign press secretary, piled on as well, claiming,
"She's been engaging in elder abuse, and she should be held accountable for that."
Yet another source told NBC News, "The only person who has ultimate influence with him is the First Lady." However, other insiders told a different story. One source told the Daily Beast, "The dark side of the internet says she loves the perks, but she is indifferent to the Washington social class." The U.S. Secret Service ended up in hot water following the assassination attempt of Donald Trump at a July 2024 rally in Pennsylvania. During a House Oversight Committee hearing, then Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle was grilled about her staff's failures that day, and Republican Rep. William Timmons wanted to know more about how resources were allocated. As Timmons noted, the Pittsburgh field office sent 3 agents to the Trump rally, while 12 were allocated to an event Joe Biden was hosting that same day. The risk of Biden's event appeared much lower, as it was held indoors in a casino equipped with magnetometers. Cheadle argued that the resources matched the risk. Indeed, the Secret Service has maintained that no resources were actually diverted from Trump's event to Jill's. Jill's name was further connected to the controversy when the New York Post reported that Cheadle had scored her job as Secret Service director because she was friends with the First Lady. Their friendship had reportedly formed when Cheadle was part of Jill's detail while Joe Biden was VP. Insiders also claimed that Jill had pushed for the promotion on the word of a senior aide, Anthony Bernal, who had no real knowledge of national security to speak of.